Visit worldrolodex.com/ketobreads to learn more. Great news! You do not have to give up your favorite bread, sandwiches and pizza to follow a 100% paleo or ketogenic diet. Traditional bread is the #1 health danger in your diet and contains a hidden compound that makes it nearly impossible to burn fat and lose weight. That's why I invested 10 years of my life to create the world's healthiest bread. Today, I reveal the secret, so you can enjoy delicious real bread without worrying about your health, your blood sugar, or your waistline. Dear reader, there are few foods more comforting and enjoyable than bread. Whether it is a warm piece of focaccia dipped in olive oil, a sandwich on a chewy baguette, a flaky croissant, or even the simplest slice of toast with butter. Just thinking about these foods makes your mouth water. And the blissful intoxication you experience when you eat bread is real. In fact, you might say bread is the original food addiction. Traditional bread produces compounds called gluteomorphins. And as their name implies, these compounds engage opioid receptors in your brain, the same receptors triggered by drugs like morphine and heroin. Very similar compounds, called casomorphins, are found in cheese. That would certainly explain the euphoric rush of pleasure you feel when biting into a crusty slice of pizza with bubbly, melted cheese. And just to make sure you keep coming back for more, the blood sugar spike you get from high-carb bread elevates dopamine, the craving neurochemical from which the word dope originates. So it is no stretch of logic to say that bread is a drug that causes a repetitive cycle of cravings for more bread. Our love affair with comforting and addictive bread is as old as recorded history. The Bible practically commands followers to eat it. Give us this day our daily bread. It was so revered in ancient Greece, the rest of the meal was called opson, meaning condiment or bread's accompaniment. However, that fuzzy glow you feel when you bite into a slice of warm bread is short-lived. And, unfortunately, those few moments of toasty buttered bliss carry a heavy price. Well-known cardiologist, Dr. William Davis, calls wheat the perfect chronic poison. And for a poison, we sure eat lots of it. The average American consumes 55 pounds of wheat flour every year, making refined flour the #1 source of calories in the American diet. Functional nutrition expert, Chris Kresser, describes this as a public health catastrophe. And it's one you have likely experienced firsthand. Eating traditional bread can elicit a range of symptoms. It might make you feel sluggish and foggy-headed, or cause you to gain unsightly fat on your belly, butt and thighs, while packing deadly visceral fat around your internal organs. And part of the reason is because of the little-known compound that makes the glycemic index of wheat among the highest of all foods. You know how important it is to keep your blood sugar stable. Rapid blood sugar and insulin spikes promote a cascade of inflammation and oxidation. Triggering these forces over and over again dramatically increases your risk for cancer, Alzheimer's, heart disease, fatty liver, diabetes, macular degeneration, physical aging, wrinkles, and more. And did you know that wheat, including so-called healthy, whole wheat, spikes your blood sugar more than almost any other food, even when the same number of carbs is consumed? That's because 75% of the carbohydrates in wheat are in the form amylopectin A. This compound is unique because of how rapidly it is transformed to glucose. According to research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, eating just 2 slices of whole wheat bread spikes your blood sugar more than drinking a can of soda, eating a candy bar, or helping yourself to 6 teaspoons of table sugar. And if the threat of diabetes, heart disease and metabolic syndrome is not enough, the damage traditional bread can do to your gut should make you think long and hard before you butter your next biscuit. Unfortunately, however, there is a big misconception about bread and your gut. And it has cost millions of people their health and enjoyment in life. You're about to discover how you can have your bread and be well too. TM, if all this bread bashing has caused you to swear off buns, biscuits and baguettes forever, I understand. After all, nothing is more important than your health. But it'd be a shame if you had to miss out on these simple and delicious pleasures forever. The great news is you don't have to. You don't have to give up your enjoyment of fresh baked bread. You don't have to forego the pleasure of a hot stack of French toast, a cheeseburger on a real bun, or a crusty piece of garlic bread to go with bolognese and meatballs. And say goodbye to the temptation to cheat on your healthy diet, because Enjoying these foods can actually help you stick to your healthy way of eating. Even if you follow the ketogenic or paleo diet, you can still enjoy all your favorite breads. The ketogenic and paleo diets are wildly popular for good reason. Because they work. Millions of people have experienced radically improved health and faster fat loss by eating in a way that's grain-free, low in carbohydrates, and aligned with our ancestral genetic blueprint. Personally, I feel and look my best when I follow a paleo-ketogenic way of eating. I avoid foods our ancient ancestors didn't routinely consume, like grains. And I aim for a macronutrient ratio rich in healthy fats, moderate in protein and very low in carbohydrates. This way of eating can reprogram your metabolism, from a sugar burner to a fat burner. This is what makes keto so powerful for weight loss. It can also provide major health benefits, including protection against cancer, heart disease and diabetes. It improves hormonal balance and nearly every aspect of brain health. And apparently our readers agree. Over the years, I've published dozens of articles and hundreds of recipes for the ketogenic diet. And every time, we receive unsolicited comments and emails from people who rave about the benefits. But let's get back to the subject of bread. Because you're probably wondering, where does bread fit in a very low-carb, grain-free diet? The great news is that you don't have to choose between your daily bread and being healthy. You just have to choose healthy bread. What if you could enjoy real bread again, without worrying about your health or your weight? What if you could sink your teeth into a sandwich thick enough to make Dagwood proud, a chewy bagel, or a crusty piece of fresh-baked focaccia? And what if these delicious real food breads are grain-free, rich in healthy fats and very low in carbs? With bread like that, you won't feel the need to cheat on your healthy diet. In fact, being able to enjoy healthy bread will help you stick to your best intentions. And I am not talking about second-rate imitations that don't measure up to the real thing. I mean divinely delicious bread, so good it could be served in a restaurant. I'm talking about some of the best breads you've ever tasted. With the same taste and fresh-baked aroma you know and love. You are about to discover just how delicious and truly healthy bread can be. So, say goodbye to bland and boring imitations. And just imagine buttering up a few of these beauties. In a moment, I'll show you how easy and inexpensive it is to put these breads on your table. But first, it's important you understand how these healthy keto-friendly breads were created and why they are so special. My name is Kelly Herring. My educational background is nutritional biochemistry. Over the years, I've spent a lot of time in the library and the laboratory. But my true passion is for the culinary arts. And it is the kitchen laboratory where my heart's truly at home, cooking, baking and creating recipes. Nearly 20 years ago, I founded a company called Healing Gourmet. Since then, we've become the world's leading provider of healing recipes and meal plans, combined with science-based education on the power of foods to promote health and protect against disease. I've also written more than a dozen books, cookbooks and programs, touting the life-saving benefits of a natural, low-sugar, grain-free, anti-inflammatory diet. I didn't start out to become a nutrition expert. It all began when I became very sick. At the age of 18, in the midst of an intense pre-medical curriculum, my health took a sudden turn for the worse. My youthful energy gave way to extreme fatigue. I suffered never-ending sinus infections, constant digestive distress, and a trail of sores in my throat that did not heal for months. After nearly 2 years of suffering, and no help from dozen doctors, I began to lose hope. I wasn't sure if my illness would ever end, or if it would be the end of me. With few options left, I decided to follow a very strict, elimination diet. I should point out this was not the recommendation of a doctor. In fact, after seeing more than a dozen doctors, they didn't ask a single question about my diet. It was a friend who recommended the changes I made to my diet. And while I didn't really expect it to work, I didn't know what else to do. To my surprise, my throat began to heal within days. My digestion normalized. I soon regained my energy. And before long, I charted a course back to health. Later, I learned I had developed leaky gut, probably the result of inflammatory grains. This led to multiple food allergies and intolerances. and it progressed to an autoimmune condition, hence the unrelenting sores in my throat and bone-crushing fatigue. In other words, I suffered from the exact symptoms and conditions I've described in this letter. I was thrilled to regain my health and for the misery to finally be over. I never wanted to compromise my body again. But I also began to miss the simple pleasures of the comfort foods I used to enjoy. I wanted to enjoy those delicious foods again, especially bread, without worrying about my health or my waistline. I had very personal reasons to solve this dietary dilemma. But I knew I was not alone, and that millions of people would also like to enjoy healthy, grain-free versions of their favorite buns, biscuits, crusts, rolls, flatbreads and more. I made it my mission to create nourishing and healthy bread recipes that taste just like the real thing. I set out to discover how to use intelligent ingredients to achieve all the attributes you love about bread, without the gluten, grains and carbs. My goal was to create real bread with good-for-you ingredients, that was easy to make and tasted so delicious it could be served in a fine restaurant. But I had no idea how hard it would be. What I thought might take a few months, took years. When I began, most people had not even heard the term gluten-free. There were very few grain-free bread recipes online and produced awful results, to be honest. There were no products in the store to model and no guidebooks to follow. Keto breads was created with your satisfaction and valuable time in mind. Few things in the kitchen are worse than spending your time and money to make a recipe that flops. I don't want that to happen to you. That's why you can count on fail-proof formulas. Many recipes for low-carb breads just don't work, or the results are not worth eating. We made the instructions extremely clear and provide to the gram measurements, so even the most novice bakers can expect outstanding results. Taste tested to perfection, we tasted every recipe over and over until it was perfect. So not only can you bake with confidence that your results will come out just like the pictures, you can also be sure that you and your family will love every one of these delicious creations. Super easy prep. Most recipes in keto breads can be made in just 15 minutes hands-on time, with little more than a mixing bowl and spoon. Then just pop the dough in the oven, and wait for the aroma of real bread to fill your home. Allergy substitutions. If you have allergies and food intolerances, it can be difficult to find baking recipes your body agrees with. We understand this dilemma. That's why we also include a section on healthy substitutions for eggs, nuts and dairy. Full nutrition info. It can be difficult to track your nutrition on the ketogenic diet. We make it easy with complete nutrition information, macronutrient ratios and net carbs per serving. So you can enjoy crusty, buttery bread. And stay in the keto zone. When you can bake real bread just as good as the original, and when it only takes 15 minutes active time to make, you will sashay past your favorite bakery without a second thought. The recipes in this book are the best I've ever created, but this is more than a book, it's a complete baking program. I wanted to provide you with more than just recipes, so I also wrote a complete introduction inside. You will find every grain-free baking secret I've learned over the years, including fail-proof tips to ensure your breads rise to their fullest potential. That way you not only understand how to achieve the best results every time, but you also understand why these recipes work so well, and how to customize to your own tastes and preferences. Do you prefer a hard roll crust, or would you like a chewy crust with a shiny sheen? Either way, we'll show you how to make these breads your own. Check out a few more of the luxurious loaves that take just minutes to prepare. We also cover the ingredients and tools you need to stock your pantry and kitchen, and don't worry, you probably have most of them in your kitchen already. I also provide simple tips for storing and freezing your bread, so you can bake once and enjoy for weeks to come. And the best part is, you don't need to be an experienced baker to achieve superior results. It wasn't easy to develop these recipes. But all those years of time and effort have made it very easy for you. We worked hard to simplify each recipe. There are no complicated techniques or drawn-out preparation methods. Most of these recipes can be made in just 15 to 20 minutes of hands-on time. If you can mix a few ingredients in a bowl, shape the dough into a ball or drop it in a pan, and then slide it into the oven, you can make keto breads. It's that easy. But don't take it from me. Over the years, we have received hundreds of emails, calls and website comments praising the recipes I have created for just how easy they are to make, how they make people feel, and just how great they taste. So, please take a moment and check out. Visit worldrolodex.com/ketobreads to learn more.